Move this out of the way. Twitch. Do we have audio? We do, but it's coming out of my speakers for some reason.
Coming out of my ass.
Just coming out of my ass. My sound. Oh, I hate what Apple did with their preferences pane. Place sound effects through that and output that. No, that. Okay. That should work better now. Yes, okay. All right, and Dementia Radio now, and recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast, brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice.
Hey, Luke Ski.
We have Devo Spice on the show this week.
Surprise! Yes, I was not able to schedule anything with John Wayre this week, so it's just me and Luke. And this.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
No, he's right.
I bit my tongue earlier, and it's starting to swell, and I'm going to bite it again, I can tell. So, Luke, what you been up to?
Well, the past 2 weeks, we should probably say.
Oh, yeah, you weren't here last week.
I saw The Flash. I liked it. For all that, matters to anybody. Let's see. Working my dumb day job, and then of course Carrie and Alex Ann came to visit for a few days, and that was fun. We have we went to Santa Monica Pier one day. We went to Universal Studios another day. We went to Disneyland another day. And we went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and just, did a bunch of fun stuff. We also, before they left, recorded what will be the first 2 segments of the next Bad Rapport episode, which has Alexan and Santana both in the segment at the same time, where we kind of recap, most of the highlights of those past, 4 days when they visited. So
Cool.
At some point, me and Carrie will... record the rest, and I'll post it at some point, but I have some other stuff I got to get done first. What else? Nothing else super exciting. As you reported last week, Worst Album Ever is up on Spotify, so that makes me happy to finally have Feeling Like a Hobbit up on Spotify, as well as the other tracks from that album. So, yeah, nothing else major I can think of. So what have you been up to?
Working on a new song, but we'll talk about that later in the show. Honestly, that's what's been taking up most of my time. That and my day job, which is just busy, because one of our biggest clients has a big launch coming up, and we're kind of in launch mode right now, so it's just, busy time. We finally got a new TV. Did I tell you our old one died?
No, you didn't.
I don't remember if we talked about that. Months ago, it started acting up where half of it, literally half of the screen was just flickering, like snow, like poltergeist. And then it would come back in, and then the whole TV would shut off and would come back on. And apparently this is a known problem with Vizio TVs. And the solution is to take the logic board and put it in the oven and bake it at 350 for 15 minutes. So we tried that. We were like, sure, why not? I mean, the worst that's going to happen is it's not going to work. And it actually solved the problem, at least partially, because the TV eventually just wouldn't turn on at all anymore. And after baking the logic board, we had to do it twice, but after baking it, the TV came on again. and it would be fine for like 10 minutes, and then it would start flickering, and then it would get distorted again. So it's still not usable. So we decided we're just gonna give it away, see if anybody out there who knows more about TVs than us is willing to fix it, and just let them have it. And we ordered a new one, so we got that hooked up the other day. So I was able to watch TV in my living room the other day for the first time in a very long time. I liked that.
Talk about too hot for TV,
right? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the title of this week's episode is A Thoughtful Kill, because random words. And
the most cerebral James Bond film ever.
And I saw Spider-Verse again.
Yeah.
So I actually wanted to see it again before the Tunes episode came out, and I ended up not doing that. The Tunes episode came out, and I was like, all right, let me listen to it first, and then I'll go see the movie. And I'm glad I did, because you guys pointed out a couple of things that I missed the first time I saw it, and then I caught them the second time because I was kind of looking for them.
That's cool.
Like what was it? Cola, it's a generic brand, or was it soda or whatever?
Yeah.
I totally didn't see that the first time. And I saw Peter Parked Car, but I didn't see the nameplate that gave the name.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I noticed the second time, is like when they first arrive in that like waiting room area, and there's all these like name tags above the Spider-Men as they pan through the crowd. You can't read them because they're moving, and it's only 24 frames per second film. It's blurry. Yeah. I couldn't read any of them. So,
yeah, it's like they're doing that so that whenever people get it on Blu-ray or whatever, they'll be able to pause it and read them then. But also just to kind of give the general notion of, yes, the majority of these spider people all have origin points from somewhere. Yeah. So stop sitting around and asking whether or not all these spider people are from somewhere they are. Just get past that thought, and now let's get on to the rest of the movie.
And just the Atari 2600 graphic in the middle of all of that was just magnificent, I must say. Because I love the PlayStation Spider-Man, because you could tell it's the PlayStation Spider-Man because he has a low polygon count.
Yeah.
And then just the Atari graphic, that was just glorious. So yeah, that movie is amazing. And if that's not your number one pick for the year on your show, I will disown both of you.
It's like the only thing that I think that has a chance of beating it would be the Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
That looks awesome. It really does.
Yeah. But I'm kind of thinking that's not going to be the case. I'm guessing our top three will be Across the Spider-Verse, and then at 2 or 3 probably Super Mario Brothers and Mutant Mayhem.
Yeah, I figured that would be the top
unless
3.
Something comes from out of nowhere and totally surprises us. But
there is a new cartoon hitting Netflix next week that is supposedly gotten rave reviews.
Well, are you talking about Nimona?
Yes.
I believe that drops tomorrow, and part of the reason that's such a big deal is that it was created by I forgot his new first name. I think it's Noel. I could be wrong. But Noel Stevenson, the creator of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, had the movie Nimona.
Okay.
Yeah, it's based on a comic he did, or something like that, or a webcomic or something, and it was in production at like Blue Sky Studios for a long time, and then Disney bought Fox and dismantled Blue Sky, so that movie basically, poofed away into nothingness, and then Netflix picked it up and finished it, because of course they would, because they Noel created She-Ra for Netflix. It's like, why wouldn't they want the next big thing from them? Yeah, so I'm very psyched to see it, just because of the track record of how amazing She-Ra and the Princess of Power is. I can't wait to see what this thing is all about tomorrow. So yeah.
So good stuff. All right. Let's get into some music. I wasn't able to schedule anything with John Wayre, but since it's just me and him, we'll do this in order. So here is Something's Going On in the Neighborhood by John Wayre.
It sometimes made us wonder why old Nellie up our street used to come home every night with a great big bag of meat. 'Cause at the time food was scarce, the war had not long passed. Everything was rationed, so you had to make it last. Something's going on in the neighbourhood, something's going on in the street. Why is Fred the butcher always smiling? Someone's getting far too much meat. Nell's husband Harry worked all night and slept all day in bed. When he was leaving to go his way, she was coming instead. A nosy neighbour saw her in an empty piece of land, talking to Fred the butcher with a sausage in his hand. Oh, something's going on in the neighbourhood, something's going on in the street. Why is Fred the butcher always smiling? Someone's getting far too much meat. So one day we just followed her and found out where she went. First stop was the council to pay her weekly rent. Then what do you know, to our surprise, she slid behind some shops. Out popped Fred all smiling with a pair of juicy chops. Something's going on in the neighbourhood, something's going on in the street. Why is Fred the butcher always smiling? Someone's getting far too much meat. Harry heard a rumour, so he followed Nell one night. Caught Fred giving her a big hot dog, so it ended in a fight. Nell ran in the fish shop where Bert was frying cod. She told him what had happened and he said, what a silly old sod. Oh, something's going on in the neighbourhood, something's going on in the street. Why is Fred the butcher always smiling? Someone's getting far too much meat. Finally things got settled, everyone just went their way. Harry and Fred, they made it up to live another day. But it sometimes made us wonder why old Nellie up our street was bringing home great big bags of fish instead of bags of meat. It sometimes made us wonder why old Nellie up our street was bringing home great bags of fish and chips instead of bags of meat.
Attention comedy musicians and comedy music fans, the Logan Awards are taking open nominations for outstanding comedy songs and videos released last year for this year's awards. Did you release a comedy song or music video in 2022, or have a favorite comedy song or video that was released then? Then nominate it for the Logan Awards today. The Logan Awards are essentially the Comedy Music Awards, sponsored annually by the Funny Music Project and are presented in 3 categories: Outstanding Original Comedy Song, Outstanding Parody Song, and Outstanding Comedy Music Video. If you have a comedy song that was released in 2022 that you'd like to nominate for 2023's awards, head to LoganAwards.com and click the Nominations tab at the top. There is a minimum and maximum of 5 nominations per person. Hurry! Nominations close this year on June 30th. For more details about Logan himself, the awards, and more, check out LoganAwards.com. Help us commemorate the year's best comedy songs and music videos with a trophy, the way they do with every other form of entertainment. But if you want your favorites to win, you have to nominate them by June 30th. Get your nominations in now at LoganAwards.com, brought to you by FuMP.com.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, Weird Al Yankovic is doing the voice on a new cartoon. He plays the villain in an upcoming special of Santiago of the Seas, called Santiago and the Seas and the Sky Pirates, I believe. He plays a villain named Jinx. This premieres July 5th on Nickelodeon. And in the preview, he's singing a song called Welcome Back to My Ship. So we'll get a little bit of Al singing in this thing. This is apparently a show that's been on for a year or so. There's season 1 was in 2020 or 2021, and season 2 is upcoming. And I guess this is like a feature special in between the two.
That's cool.
Worm Quartet's Kickstarter ended the other day. He was trying to reach his stretch goal of $9,000, and the final tally was $9,000. So he just made it. So congratulations, Shoebox. We are very much looking forward to the new album Carpe Tedium, available soon at a FuMP store near you.
Was there some kind of special extra thing he was going to do if he hit that stretch goal?
Yes. At $9,000, he said that would cover the cost of everything completely as far as production of the album, and he was going to be able to upgrade the vinyl insert to a gatefold sleeve, so that in addition to the lyric insert, he says, I'll be able to do an intensely stupid artistic thing I want to do. And then all vinyl rewards will get the gatefold sleeve, and then any pledge above $100, he will call you on your birthday and sing happy birthday or a reasonable royalty-free alternative. So the birthday phone calls are happening, folks. Be ready for that. As you just heard, the Logan Awards are still accepting nominations, and as Ian says, get your nominations in today because June 30th is the last day they are accepting nominations. So if you're hearing this after June 30th and you haven't submitted your nominations yet, sorry. And the FuMP newsletter for June went out the other day, talking about things like FuMPFest, the Logan Awards, featured videos, and more. You can view it online at tiny.cc/FuMP0623. Tiny.cc/FuMP0623. All right, you got anything before tour dates?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
All right, tour dates. On Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird. On Mondays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. On the 1st in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, Carla Ulbrich. On the 7th in online, Carla Ulbrich. The 7th through the 9th in Indianapolis, Indiana, Mikey Mason. And on the 8th in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, Carla Ulbrich. All right. Second song of the week is a new one by me. Me. Here is Yo Sam by Devo Spice.
Any one of you lily-livered, bow-legged, bracker-frack varmints care to slack weather with me? Well, for any of you get any ideas, you better understand that who I be. I'm the hootin'est, tootin'est, shootin'est, bobtail, hombre, past the gun, you're darn doin'est, rootin'est, bracker, parker-looper, doin'est, yeah. My oil rigs and the pollutin'est, you ain't no match for me. You dag-blasted ornery, no account, long-eared varmint, whether I'm dressed in Viking, pirate, Roman, or Old West garments. They fear my name all across the land, 'cause my name is Yosemite Sam. I'm the ruffinest, toughinest, gruffinest, and when the dang long-eared galoot acts up, I've had enough of this. My bladder's flat and rat hat and all that, and my red mustache and beard are the scruffinest. I reckon y'all better keep back, 'cause I blast any creature that tangled with me. Got a pair of 6-shooters in my hand on the land, and a cannon when I'm out in the sea. So say your prayers, you dirty frat and patent, 'cause you know where you're going to go. I speaks my mind and steps across your line, and when I say whoa, I means whoa. I'll hunt and shoot wherever I can, for my name ain't Yosemite Sam. I'll lead yous into the lion's den while I follow the map to the treasure. Ahoy there, you bushwhacking barracuda, I'm the toughest hombre ever. So all you skunks get out of here while I chase an old woman around the couch. I'm the captain of the guard in the Zaslav war between the states. I fought for the South. That dirty perker, shorka, bat, flat, important fill, a bunker rabbit is for the birds. He's a racker-fracking paracut, a slaughter-rated idiot, and yeah, them's fighting words. So maybe that'll learn ya who I am, 'cause my name is Yosemite Sam.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, when I first heard this, when you sent me an example of it, I was under the impression that maybe there was some kind of big nerdcore cipher thing going down, and with the Looney Tunes characters, and that you had been tapped to play Yosemite Sam.
Oh, that'd be cool. Actually, I'd be all for doing that.
So yeah, and then you're like, oh no, this is just me. I'm like, oh, okay. kind of seemed like out of nowhere. I didn't know if it was like what do you call it? Ridiculous raps. I didn't know if it was somebody just said like, Yosemite Sam rap, or whatever,
No, it was just like I was doing it, and I'm like, I'm not really known for impressions, and I'm like, I'm trying to learn, Yosemite Sam, and I did the test recording, and I'm like, I can still it sounds like me, I'm like, let me get some feedback. So I sent it to you and Kyle, and both of you were like, yeah, this totally works. Go for it. And I was like, okay. So,
I mean, not every impression I do is perfect. It's just a matter of getting the the rhythms, of the way the person speaks, so it's like, but your voice is very suited for Yosemite Sam, So yeah, I was like, cool, Devo's doing the thing that I've done a bunch of times, and now you get to do it, and it's awesome. So yeah.
So the way this thing came about is somebody online made an edit of the classic Bugs Bunny cartoon titled From Air to Hair, where Yosemite Sam inherits a whole bunch of money, and Bugs Bunny is the adjuster, and the condition of the inheritance is Sam has to keep his temper under control. So Bugs is there, and every time Sam loses his temper, and he deducts money from it. Well, somebody cut out all the plot points, so it's just a minute and a half of Sam doing that fake cursing, and it's so funny. I mean, it's like very zen just hearing Sam doing this fake cursing for a minute and a half straight. It's so cool. So I was like,
I have to imagine how hard that was for Mel Blanc, because I'm sure that in real life he swore. It's like I need to keep a consistent amount of this going without repeating myself too much and without accidentally actually swearing.
Yeah, I always wondered if this was scripted or if this was Mel Blanc, improvising. And I don't know, and I don't know if there's any way to find out, because I imagine everybody involved in that cartoon is dead. But yeah, so I must have watched that video of Sam cursing a dozen times, just because I laughed every time, especially since it has the clip of him like falling from above, and he's bring it as he goes off into the and then he does it again, and it's funnier the second time, and. So I was like, I could just take this and put it to a beat, and it'd be funny, and I could do that. And it was one of those half-assed ideas, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. And then, like all good ideas I have that came to me as I was walking my dog, I realized that, I don't know if it's the Looney Tunes or the Merry Melodies theme song, but I realized if I slowed it down and put drums to it, it was kind of funky. So I'm walking around the neighborhood going, I'm like, yeah, that'll work.
I believe the actual title of that song is Merry-Go-Round Broken Down.
Okay.
So you could call yours the Merry-Go-Round Breakdown.
I could. So for the music, I actually found a MIDI file of the theme. And I was able to import it into Renoise, and then I assigned, the different channels to, things on my keyboard, and there were a couple of virtual instruments that I had purchased for previous songs. I was able to assign those to like the horns and stuff like that. Got a cool sound out of it, added a beat, mixed it up a little bit, and presto, music. So I didn't have to sit here and actually figure out the notes and everything, which I'm not good at, especially when it gets into like chords and harmonies and things. I can't do it. I don't have Chris's ear, so I really liked the music, and then I was like, all right, now I need to write this. So
well, yeah, you nailed it, and like, all the so many references to, like all of the Yosemite Sam cartoons were just so great in there.
Well, what I did was there's a video on YouTube, which I just searched for the best of Yosemite Sam, and there's a video on YouTube. It's like 12 minutes long that has like all the most popular clips in it, or at least the ones that haven't been taken down off YouTube for copyright, I imagine. So like most of the clips you see in the video are from that. Like when I say whoa, I mean whoa. When he whacks the camel. The pirate ship where he keeps opening the drawers and the cannons are there. Step across the line and he, the diving scene. There's the Roman centurion with the lions. There's good stuff in there. Sam was an awesome character.
Yeah, it's I was thinking about how, and I kind of want to talk about this with Kyle on our podcast at some point. Just that, like, okay, it's like something that was kind of born of, the boomers, and then Gen X had it, and then the millennials mostly had it, but I don't know if Gen Z is really going to have this as they grow up, and certainly not the generation after them, is the notion of reruns, is like, the reason why there's so many, songs about like Gilligan's Island and the Brady Bunch and like all that stuff is because those were the shows that were on TV, and there were only a handful of channels each of us had, and we had to watch whatever they happened to have on.
Yep.
So that's why all those shows got stuck in so many people's heads, is because those were the things that were on repeat. And then when we were growing up, it was like The Simpsons and then Seinfeld or whatever, and now for the millennials, it's like The Office and, other shows. So, but now it's like nobody watches regular TV or cable TV anymore. It's all streaming. It's all about, I'm specifically going to this place to watch this show right now. And the notion of like, I'm going to randomly flip through and find something to watch just isn't a thing.
Yeah.
So,
although we were just talking about this with my coworker this morning, his wife and his stepdaughter apparently watch certain shows over and over and over on streaming. It's like they just put it on, and I don't know whether they hit it to play a random episode or they just watch it straight through. But they'll watch like Friends or Big Bang Theory, and what's the other one they watch? New Girl. They just watch it over and over and over. So that's going to kind of be like the new rerun, just watching streaming shows again.
Yeah, because I just think about how, it switched, the Looney Tunes switched around to different networks over the years on Saturday morning. But it was also, syndicated on afternoons and stuff. But it was always about, we had no control over which episodes we were going to see at any given day. So for me, I was always crossing my fingers that One Froggy Evening was going to be on, because that was, Michigan J Frog and, hello, my baby.
Yeah.
Hello, it was like, it was like, Amy, get over here. It's the frog one. It's the frog one. So. Or one of my favorite Looney Tunes gags of all time is it's Chester and Spike, the two dogs. Mm-hmm. That's like, a cat? You know words of a cat? Yeah, I know words of a cat. And they're going to go mess with the cat.
Yeah.
And they get to like a fence where you can like see through the fence of like slatted wooden boards. And
I know where you're going.
Yeah, and Sylvester's on one side, and then he like does a U-turn and sees the dogs, and he's just singing to himself, Charleston, Charleston, made in Carolina, some dance, some prance, I'll say, there's nothing from the Charleston, Charleston, sees the dogs, that always killed me.
Yeah. One of my all-time favorite Bugs Bunny clips was the square dance with the two hillbillies.
Yeah.
Like, oh my, like I remember I was on the phone with my friend Dave, one of the other sudden death guys, because we used to just do this. We used to just watch Looney Tunes and the Flintstones and stuff while we were talking on the phone. And that episode came on one afternoon, and both of us were just crying. Like, grab a fence post, hold it tight, whomp your partner with all your might, hit him in the shin, hit him in the head, hit him again, that critter ain't dead. And I'm like, it's so good. If you haven't seen that clip, that clip is on YouTube, so you can watch that if you've never seen it. Holy crap, that is funny. And actually, one of my favorite Yosemite Sam bits is in, just because I always loved the way it was drawn, it's in the video. I used it for one of the bridges. when Sam gets on the horse and starts running, and he's got this tiny little horse with the little legs that just keep jump like this, and then Bugs Bunny is on a normal size horse, and these giant legs are going like the animation on those horses was awesome, and it cracked me up every time I saw it. So that was always one of my favorite bits.
I remember. I gotta look. I don't even remember what the name of this cartoon was, but it was like there were two forts. I don't know if they were meant to be a specific war or whatever, but it was like two forts, and there were two flags, like us and them.
Yeah, the best of clip starts with that, with them fighting with each other, because that's where Sam goes, "Ahoy there!"
Someone should take that clip. Like, have you heard that audio on TikTok where it's like these guys yelling at each other from across the street, like during the pandemic? It's like, what's your name? I'm Tony. Fuck you, Tony. What's your name? Richard. Fuck you, Richard. It's like it's something like that. I would love to see Bugs and Sam with those voices dubbed over them.
Oh yeah, somebody could do that easily. Did you catch the new profanity I threw in?
I haven't caught all of it because I haven't watched the video with the words yet, but Kyle told me that there was some great stuff in there, so I need to watch it.
So, I'm the captain of the guard, and in the Zaslavin War between the states, I fought for the South. So,
that's a good
Zaslav is a swear now.
It's like, I swear, if I could bring back Magiswords in some way, I would want the big bad of the season or of the movie or of the whatever it is to be like a new evil force whose name is Zaslav.
Yeah.
or Zaslav spelled backwards. just to,
I mean, it sounds like a villain name. It really does.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
All you have to do is change the spelling a little bit, because I had to look up how to spell it when I wrote it. But yeah, but actually, the somebody that From Hair to Air episode transcribed all the profanity in one of the YouTube comments. So I was able to just copy and paste that into my lyrics. So like that dirty Perkashorka fat flat and fort and fill a bunker is actually something Sam says verbatim in that song, in that clip.
It's like you and Schaefer need to like back to back perform this with House Pickle Pfeiffer.
Right. So I posted this video to the Dr. Demento group, and people dig it. Like this has gotten more likes and more shares than anything I've ever posted to Facebook. So
what you're saying that the random baby boomers who joined the thing because they saw Demento's name, like Yosemite Sam references? Wow, what a shock. I sometimes I like to, in my own head, like make bets with what Dr. Demento is going to do. My guess is he's going to play Yo Sam and follow it with Wappin'. Because of course he would. And then when the top 10 comes along, Wappin' will make the top 10 because that's the way it goes. Zaslav spelled backwards would be Valsaz.
Valsaz. That works too. Yeah. That could work too.
Valsaz.
So yeah, the video. When I was putting the video together, I could not believe how well the opening sequence fit with the lyrics. Because I mean, I intentionally used that, that opening sequence, any one of you lily-livered, bow-legged, bracket-frack varmints care to slap leather with me. And so I knew what clip that was, and I put it in, and like I just lined it up so that when he started talking was when I started rapping, and like it fit perfectly, like almost the entire thing.
Isn't it nice when that happens?
Yeah, it was amazing.
It's like it's like during those rare circumstances where it's like, okay, I want to make this video match this audio. God, this is gonna be such a headache, and then you put it in, it's like, oh, it just works. Oh, that saved me so much work. Yeah, as soon as we get done here, I will go watch it just because I've been meaning to watch it, and I've just been distracted trying to get some commission work done. That's, you know.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
But
So
yeah, just all of those classic Looney Tunes, you know, Bugs Bunny just, you know, destroying Sam in so many ways, like, that are so smart. He was always good for a thoughtful kill.
Thank you.
So there you go.
So,
There's look for this online. There is a clip of, it's a black and white animation of Porky Pig, and it's him going like he's like hit his thumb with a hammer or something, and he's like, "Oh, son of a oh darn!" And then he looks at the camera and goes, "You thought I was going to say son of a bitch, didn't you?"
there was some comic back in the 80s or maybe the 90s who was doing a bit about how he said that they should sneak profanity into cartoons just to see if anybody notices. And
I think that was Dave Coulier.
It might have been. And because I remember the one example I remember was him doing Yosemite Sam and going, "Ooh, I hates that fucking rabbit."
Yeah, like he said, just one morning when your dad's watching with you.
Yeah.
There was this one Popeye cartoon that I swore Bluto was saying. He was singing a song, and like he was supposed to be like one of those kind of like, it's one of those like, you know, chic desert episodes where he's like, you know, some kind of like, you know, desert pirate or something.
Yeah.
And I would swear the words he was saying was, "Run, you assholes, run, you assholes."
Well, like, I have a vivid memory of going to see The Secret of Nim in theaters, and this one scene, I like, where the old woman rat turns around and says, "Those fucking rats," and I was like, this is a G, isn't it? You know, and then I watched the movie over and over again later, and it never happened. So I don't know if I fell asleep in the theater and dreamt it or what, but I vividly remember that line. But I mean, I apparently was never in the film, and it was just me. But that's my brain doing things.
It's like in the movie Treasure Planet, they do a joke where it's supposed to be, because there's a character that's a doc. He's like an intellectual doctor, not like a medical doctor. But like, and you know, there's one of the main characters is Jim, and at one point the character says, you know, "Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a blah blah blah." You know, so it was supposed to be. And I swear in the theater he said "damn it," but ever since after that on video that he says "darn it," I'm like, I know in the theater he said "damn it." It has a PG rating. I assume they could get away with that, but yeah. Which things like that. I mean, I know it's so small, but just like in Spider-Verse, which is rated PG-13, it's like, you know, maybe you should get off his ass.
Yeah,
it's like just throwing in little things like that is so great. It's like, thank you for putting that slight bit of more reality into this thing.
Yeah.
What was the other thing I was going to mention? Crap. Okay. And this was real. Transformers the movie 1986.
Yes.
When I mean, I know that at one point Ultra Magnus is trying to open the Matrix of Leadership, and he's like, "Open, damn it, open." And that didn't seem like a big deal to me. But when Unicron is about to eat that one moon that I think Bumblebee and Spike are on, and Spike says, "Oh shit, what are we going to do now?" I specifically remember having this feeling like, because I saw that movie for the first time with my dad, and I kind of begged him to take me to see it. And I just had this moment of like, am I going to get in trouble? Because I talked my dad into taking me to see this movie that has a swear word in it. Because like that's how that's how deeply embedded the Catholicism was in my head, that I thought I was going to be in trouble for this movie having a swear word that like nobody saw coming. So yeah, whatever. Anyway, yeah, go check out Devo's video and you know, go to the Dr. Demento group and like it, and maybe it'll get played.
Like it and request it. And I know Michael Charbonneau specifically requested and tagged Dr. Demento in it, so maybe.
Good. So yeah.
So yeah, all right. Let's do this stuff.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous.
Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback, you know that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
And there's no feedback this week, so...
Hello, Devo. Hello, Luke. Barramon here. I'm afraid there's no feedback this week. No feedback at all. I know how frustrating this is, with you going through the effort of crafting an intro for everyone. So now is the time to remind them to subscribe. Use that Prime subscription if they have one. It's free. There you go. That's a good boy. Have a biscuit.
Damn it!
All right. And...
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's song is by a new artist, so you will just have to wait and see who that is. And
Tuesday's song is not yet posted.
And it's not by me, so I can't give you any hints. This week's Spotify playlist topic is America and the 4th of July and all that, because 4th of July is coming up and America and all that. All right. All right. John Wayre is at johnwayre.com. His last name is spelled Wayre. You can find me at devospice.com. And that video for that song is up on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/devospice. Please share it with all of your friends and give it a like. I think it's got like 85 views right now, so it's creeping up the charts. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski. And the that's all, folks.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at dementiaradio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Shout it to random people on the street. And be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say...
Ho! Ha ha! Guard! Turn! Parry! Dodge! Spin! Ha! Thrust!